Here at the Hartford Civic Center with two of the greatest hockey players in the world. They're from the Soviet national team. On my left is Vladimir Petrov. On my right is Boris Mikhailov, and my interpreter from the TASS network, Mr. Kukushkin. I'm going to ask Mr. Petrov just how he explains the great growth of the hockey in the Soviet Union, how they've become a world power so quickly.
В первую очередь, советский хоккей отличается от канадского тем, что он к противнику относится доброжелательно. И второе – это комбинационный стиль игры.
The first thing is that the difference between Soviet hockey and Canadian hockey is that we have a good attitude toward our opposite side, and the second is that we are playing the so-called combinations hockey, not physical.
I'd like to ask Mr. Petrov whether he thinks the hockey that is played in North America is less scientific than the hockey that's played in the Soviet Union.
Как вы считаете, хоккей, в который играют в Северной Америке, он менее научный, чем в Советском Союзе?
Почему? Я думаю, так же научный, как у нас. Но дело в том, что две разные школы, поэтому они отличаются друг от друга.
Both hockeys, they're scientific, but you are playing with a Canadian style of hockey and we are playing with Russian style of hockey. That's the difference.
Mr. Mikhailov, in Canada and in the United States, many of the young people learn to skate at the age of 4 and 5, and they're playing organized hockey by the time they're 6 and 7. How did you become a hockey player? When did you start to learn, and how did you progress?
В Канаде начинают в 4-5 лет играть в хоккей. Как ты начинал хоккей?
Ну, я начал значительно позже. Я начал играть в хоккей в 12 лет. Но думаю, что, в общем-то, такое раннее начало игры в хоккей, думаю, что, в общем-то, оно идет на пользу. И если бы я начал заниматься хоккеем раньше, то действительно я бы достиг значительно большего, нежели достиг в настоящее время. И думаю, что слияние вот этих двух школ, канадского и советского хоккея, дает определенные, так сказать, результаты. Канадцы стали играть немножко по-русски, а русские стали играть немножко по-канадски.
Speaking frankly, I started to play hockey when I had been 12 years old. But I think that it's better to start when you are 4 or 5 years old. And if I started with hockey when I had been 6 years old, I could play much better than I'm playing now. But now, speaking about two schools of ice hockey, Canadian and Russian, now there is mixture of two hockeys, because Canadians, they're playing a little bit of Russian hockey and we are playing a little bit of Canadian hockey.
I'd like to ask Mr. Petrov whether he thinks that the Canadian or the North American style of hockey has become too violent. A lot of stories have been written, even in today's paper, in the Hartford newspaper, there was a story that the New England team might try to out-rough the Soviet team, and I was wondering whether the Soviet players have any feelings about violence in hockey.
Что ты думаешь о грубости в хоккее, о насилии в хоккее? Потому что даже в газетах обращают внимание, что был прогноз, что эта команда попытается за счет, так сказать, большой грубости выиграть у советской команды.
Ну, это мое личное мнение. Я считаю, что грубит тот, кто отстает в технике и не подготовлен ни технически, ни физически. Думаю, что он не может никак остановить сильного игрока, который действительно тактически и технически сильнее его, и он начинает применять грубость.
I have just one thing to say, that those who can play good hockey, they never play rough hockey, and only poor players who are poor technicians and they have poor tactics, they use roughness during the game, because there is no way for them to stop a good hockey player. That's why they violate on their ice.
I'd like to ask Mr. Mikhailov, one of the criticisms of the Soviet style of hockey is that it's too reliant on a system, that there is not enough individuality in the Soviet system, and I was wondering what his opinion is of that.
Критиковали советский хоккей за то, что мало индивидуальности проявляется во время игры. Какое ваше мнение?
Я думаю, что, в общем-то, не настолько мало. Если канадцы успели заметить на поле и Якушева, и Харламова, и Третьяка, это уже говорит о том, что и в команде, которая играет коллективно, видны и звезды, видны и солисты.
So far as I know, Canadians and Northern Americans, they are familiar with Tretiak, with Harlamov, with both of these players. It means that they have seen in the team some stars, and if they picked up stars, it means that there are some individuals.
Well, they certainly have proven that they are among the greatest hockey players in the world, and I'd like you to thank them on behalf of the Home Box Office Network. This is Stan Fischler at the Hartford Civic Center with two of the greatest hockey players in the world. They're from the Soviet national team. On my left is Boris Mikhailov, and on my right is Vladimir Petrov, and my thanks to you, Mr. Kukushkin.
Thank you very much.
3-1 Cap Raider. Bill has been in that